G'day ladies and gentlemen, so welcome back to the channel. Happy 2023. I just wanted to talk a little bit about opal value and how you can get an idea of what your opal is worth. So if you have an opal that's say this big and it's got color all over it and it's very bright color, you could have a very valuable opal. Origin plays a big part in what the opal's worth. Is it an Ethiopian opal? Is it an Australian opal? Australian opals tend to command the highest price in the opal world. Brazilian opal is very valuable. Mexican opal is valuable. Ethiopian opal is valuable. There's Honduras opal. There's a lot of different types of opal from different countries all around the world. American opal. Opal fossils, seashell fossils, dinosaur opal fossils, opal pineapples, opals, or little bits of fossilized wood, opal fossil wood. There's all these different types of opal that have value. There's actually a Bodytone scale and a brightness scale that can help you with opal valuing. There's a Bodytone scale that goes from N1 to N9, and N1 to N4 is considered black opal. N1 to N4 is black opal, and that includes crystal opal that's black or has a dark body tone that's in the N1 to N4 category. You can get a little sheet that shows you the particular colors of N1, N2, N3, N4, so you can put your stone on it and actually measure what body tone your stone is. There's a brightness scale as well, and it's similar to the body tone scale. You can try to match your brightness with the chart that has the brightness on it. So 1 to 5, and 1 being the lowest brightness, 2 being the second most brightness, 3rd being the brightness that is quite bright but not super bright, and then 4 is getting very bright, and 5 is the top brightness, the brightest of the bright. The super bright material is 5. So 1 to 5 is the brightness scale, and these are used to help people value their opal. So if you have a stone that's this big and it's got color on it, it's going to be worth less than a stone that's this big and got the same color on it. So the size of the stone affects the value of your opal as well. So if it's a stone with magnificent color, that's just a beautiful shape, and it's a natural specimen that hasn't been cut, it could be worth a lot if it's got great color and it hasn't even been cut. So rough opal can be very valuable, and cut opal can be very valuable. It just depends what you've got or what you're looking at and what's come out of the ground. So origin plays a big part. If it's from Lightning Ridge or Coober Pedy, it's going to heighten the value. If it's from Mintabi, it will heighten the value. These are popular areas. They're world-class opal areas, and world-class opal comes from these areas. Lightning Ridge, Mintabi, Coober Pedy, these are world-famous opal spots. So you've also got Ethiopian opal, Wellow opal, which is very popular, but I think the Australian opal commands the highest price, especially Lightning Ridge black opal, which people are going crazy for. And the opal market is trending right now. It's hot. People want opal. They're fascinated with it, especially since the Outback Opal Hunters show has come about. And people are watching it on the TV, Outback Opal Hunters, and they're loving it. And people are just like buying opals like never before, I would imagine. So if you have an opal and you're looking at it, you can sort of guess how much it might be worth by comparing it to other stones that have sold online on opal auctions or on eBay. You could follow a stone that you think might look similar to a stone you have and see what it sells for, and you might get an idea of what your opal's worth. But other than that, you can ascertain the value by, you can guess the value also by just looking at the stone and assessing what you would be willing to pay for it and what you would be willing to sell it for. Is the material super bright? Is it a 5 brightness? Is it a 4 brightness? Is it a 3 brightness? Is it a 2 brightness? Is it a 1 brightness? Because that affects the value. So you can bet that the brighter stones are worth a lot more than stones that are not bright. So lower grade stone could be worth from anywhere around $2 to $200 for a lower grade stone. You might look at paying $2 to $200 a carat, rough or cut. And for a high grade stone, it could be anywhere from, say, 500 per carat to 3,000 per carat, depending on how big the stone is and what the color looks like, how bright the color is, how much color is on the stone. How big the stone is affects the value, because the surface area of the color is greater on a stone that's bigger, so therefore it should be considered more valuable, you would think. It just makes sense. So common sense, guys, comes into play when valuing your opal. An opal with just a line of color or a spot of color on it, if the surface area is this big but the spot of color is only this big, it's just a spot of color, so it's going to lower the value of the stone, even though it's a bigger stone and you've got that spot of color. It's going to not be as valuable as a stone that has full color halfway across it, or full color the whole way across it. So you've got to take into account the amount of color that can be seen, the brightness of that color, how that color looks in different lights. What's the overall look of the stone? Does it look amazing in every type of light? Does it look bold and magnificent in the sunlight but not in the shade? Because some of these stones do look magnificent in the sunlight, but then when you get them in the shade they don't shine at all, or you put them in an artificial light and they shine, but they don't shine so well in the sunshine or in the shade. So that's usually a lower grade type stone. Most stones that are very good brightness or very good color, very good colored stones, they tend to shine and show great color even in multiple sources of light. So not just one source of light, they'll even look good in the shade. So you'll see the color in the shade and in the sunlight and in the artificial lights that you could shine on your stone. Black opal, N1 to N4, dark opal, N5 to N6. Dark opal can still be very valuable, just like black opal. It's a rarer type of opal, but light opal and white opal and crystal opal, N7 to N8 to N9, are considered less valuable than black opal and dark opal. Black opal is considered rare and more valuable than the lighter opal types. Dark crystal opal or dark black opal, dark or black opal is also available in a crystal form where you can see through it, but it has that black or dark body tone. And that's one of my favorite types of opal, is that black or dark crystal that you can see through, but it has color, displays color in that dark body tone that you can see into and see through. So you can shine a light and it will sort of light up. That's how you know that it's full crystal. But if it's potch or black potch or dark potch or gray potch, you'll shine the light and you can't actually see into it, whereas crystal you can. And so the value is determined by the seller, and it's also determined by professional opal valuers. Insurance on a stone, an insurance valuation will be different, often different, or a lot higher than some of the values that people put on their stones. One of the things to take into account when buying opal is that if you're buying it for the first time, you might be getting somebody's problem stones, because a lot of the people that cut and sell opal, they actually cut the easiest stones that they can cut, and the rest of the material that's a lot harder to cut, they'll actually sell on because they can't see them cutting anything great out of it to sell, so they would rather on sell it. And you've got to be careful when buying that you're getting something that you're happy with, and not just buying something that you can't do anything with or appreciate. So make sure that you buy the right material when you're buying opal. And when it comes to valuing a stone, just look at it and go, well, how much could this be worth? And just think, how much would I be willing to pay for this myself, and how much could I get for this stone? I'm sure that's what the miners do when they get their material out of the ground. They go, well, what's this worth? What can we get for this? And so it's really about deciding what you're willing to sell it for, and everybody's price will be different. Some people look at opal and say it's worth $100, and other people say, no, I don't think it's worth that, I think it's worth $20. So it's quite a tricky subject, but if you look at other stones that are selling, like I said, you can get an idea of what your material might be worth. Now, rarer patterns in opal are more valuable, like flagstone, harlequin, mackerel, broad flash, rolling flash, pinfire. Patterns affect the value. If you have a rarer pattern, then your stone will be worth more money. It's just a rarer type of opal when you've got that amazing pattern. And a stone that doesn't have any pattern is often worth less than the rarer patterns that you see. And brightness plays a huge factor in the opal world, so just remember that. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my little talk about opal value, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.